Veteran-owned, serving premium coffee. BlackRifleCoffee.com/herd. 20% off your first coffee club order. Serving premium coffee to people who love America. Mel Kiper's first mock draft is out. We'll talk about that. Tom House, Tom Brady's throwing mentor and coach, former Major League Baseball player, caught Hank Aaron's record-breaking home run. He was in the bullpen and caught it. True story. Tom House was a former Major League Baseball pitcher. I remember him. I remember him.
That's an amazing memory to have.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I think it's been, we didn't put it on this, but somebody reminded me of it this morning, and I remember Tom House being the guy. And that was it. You have to remember, the Hank Aaron home run was the moment in baseball for many, many years. Like, it was the moment.
It still is.
Yeah. I mean, we watched it. You're like, yeah, I remember Vin Scully called it. So this is interesting. It's official. Tom Brady is the two best quarterbacks of all time. So this morning, our team went out, and they took his first 10 years, 2001 to 2011, and his second 10 years, 2012 to 2021. In both, he's the best quarterback ever. In the first 10 years, he has 5 Super Bowl appearances, most ever. He won 78% of his games, best ever, and had 16 playoff wins, best ever. And in the stuff he didn't win, he's darn close, like 8 division titles in 10 years. In the next decade, 2012 to 2021, Super Bowl appearances 5, best ever, only tying himself. Winning percentage, best ever, beating himself. Playoff wins, 1 shy of the earlier decade where he beat himself. He had more division titles in the last 10 than the first 10. He has now moved into Wayne Gretzky category. To argue he's the best quarterback of all time is silly. You sound ridiculous. Of all the greats, Maradona, Pele, Messi, Ronaldo, these are lively debates. Federer and Djokovic. Federer's better on grass, Djokovic hard court. These are lively debates. Jack and Tiger. Jack's got more majors. Tiger's got more wins and was more dominant over a decade. Michael, Jordan, LeBron. Michael's the better closer, 6 for 6. LeBron's going to blow him away in every category, and maybe titles too. These are lively debates. Tom Brady's only debate now, we're making it up, is a hypothetical one where we're projecting Mahomes could be better. That's it now. Everybody else no longer competes. Some people are projecting if things go right, Mahomes could get there. That's a hypothetical. The only difference now, the only argument now, was the young Brady better than the old Brady. He has moved into an area where we can only compare him to LeBron, Michael Phelps, Roger Federer. They have moved beyond, he's moved beyond his sport. Now the Belichick argument, it was the system. That doesn't matter. And this weekend did him a lot of good. Beating Aaron Rodgers twice this year at 43 out of his prime. Aaron still end of his prime, and beating Drew Brees a couple of weeks ago. So it's pretty amazing when you start looking at sports arguments, this one's done. Tom's the best quarterback ever, and then the second best quarterback ever. Just split up the 20 years. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Well, Tom Brady will be playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in their second straight Super Bowl, but some players still feel like they have something to prove. After winning the AFC Championship game on Sunday, Tyreek Hill said, "I feel like a bunch of our guys looked at Twitter and we felt like people underestimated us." A little bit, we talked just a few moments ago about LeBron and him coming up with slights. I actually like this from the Chiefs a lot, because this is something that the Patriots would do every single year.
Absolutely.
And I never understood it. It would always be like New England versus everyone. And I would just be so confused. Like, what, aren't you guys favored to win the Super Bowl? Who's everyone? we expect you guys to be there this year like you were last year. Like, who's doubting you? They just manufacture it. And I think it's important because there is that conversation, and we've had it, of like, are the Chiefs kind of like the Warriors? Are they like taking nights off? Are they kind of just putting it in?
They're doing something.
Control?
They're doing something.
And sometimes you need a little bit of that little spark, like a somebody said this, and it gets everyone going again.
And they play in Tampa, which is, actually, Kansas City's got a little bit of a benefit, is that Andy Reid can say, by the way, this team you're facing just went to Lambeau and beat Aaron Rodgers. They just went to New Orleans and beat Drew Brees. So if you think Tom's old, now they're at home. Are we better at home? Like, it's a very easy rev up for Andy Reid, which, beating Aaron, it's one thing if you beat Kirk Cousins. But to go to your team and say, yeah, this guy we're facing just went to Lambeau and beat Rodgers. Because I think even Kansas City players would acknowledge that's a feat.
No, I don't think Kansas City's going into this game thinking... I think they think they're the better team because I think that's what you have to think. But I don't think they're underestimating the Bucs at all. Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't. It's the Super Bowl. There's a reason why they're there.
I'm surprised at the line. I thought it would be 4.5. It's 3. I'm surprised by it.
Well, the Chiefs' last playoff loss came to Brady in New England when he beat them in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago. They've only lost 2 games since Week 11 of the 2019 season, and one of those games was against the Chargers in Week 17 when none of their starters played.
That's right.
So the Chiefs are definitely cruising. It's two different. They've definitely taken 2 different paths, these teams, to get to the Super Bowl. Like, the Chiefs were expected to be there. Some people, very few, expected the Bucs to be here.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be an amazing matchup.
Kansas City's won 25 of 26 games, and they're only a 3-point favorite. It feels like that's the side. Kansas City's the side.
It's really remarkable. So Josh Allen made a huge jump in his 3rd year and was even in the MVP conversation this season, and he believes that he has proven that the Bills made the right choice when they selected him in the 2018 draft.
Proved. That they didn't make a mistake by drafting me going back a few years ago. And I got to continue to go out there and have that same mindset. And I'm just trying to help this team win with whatever and whichever way that I can.
We talked about Super Bowl windows, whether they were open, halfway, or closed yesterday. And I agree that I think the Bills' Super Bowl window is still open. However, they don't do what the Packers did and draft Jordan Love in the first round. Make a significant effort with your top picks to supplement what you're already doing, like perhaps a running back.
It's interesting. Here's how good California. So this weekend, 3 of the 4 quarterbacks in the games were from California high schools. Think about how good California high schools are. They're so good that Josh Allen was not offered a Pac-12 scholarship. Kawhi Leonard was not offered a Pac-12 scholarship. Aaron Rodgers out of high school was not offered a Pac-12 scholarship. Isn't that amazing? There's 39 million people. There's so many high schools and so much talent that Kawhi Leonard, Aaron Rodgers, and Josh Allen, the major conference out here, said, they're just not really good enough to get an offer. And by the way, they're all still... Well, not Aaron, but Josh Allen and Kawhi are still fairly young. They're not that far removed from that. It just 3 of the 4 quarterbacks this past weekend, California kids.
Well, he's right. He did an amazing job developing over the last couple years. And they're very lucky, and he is as well, that they didn't lose Stable, because that's another year of being in the same system and running it back. But Sean McDermott said today that they're going to focus on shoring up the running game. I mean, they really struggled running the ball against the Chiefs. So Texans fans everywhere are hoping Deshaun Watson will stay with the team in 2021 despite all of the turmoil reported between him and the organization. Even the city's mayor made a plea for Watson to stay. He tweeted, "Houston loves Deshaun Watson and the Texans." And the Houston Texans. Houston is a great city that is hungry to back our players and team. As a mayor of a city that is second to none, I pray we move forward together. A lot of praying in Houston. I value Deshaun Watson as a player, but I respect him even more as a person. I know he loves the city because I've seen how much he has given of himself and his treasure to the people in this city. I'm humbled to be his mayor, and I hope that won't change anytime soon. This situation with Deshaun Watson is very interesting because sometimes when this happens, the media and the fans are immediately on the side of the organization and very rarely fully back the player. But I think Houston's done such a horrific job, really overall as an organization, handling things over the past couple years, but also handling Deshaun Watson, coupled with the fact that he is such an incredible player and put up unbelievable numbers in a terrible season. He's also such a great character person.
Well, think about it. You could argue the 2 character guys in the league. Well, I mean, there's a lot of great players, a lot of good dudes.
Of course.
But given to their community, J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson, and they've both publicly complained about the organization. So when J.J. Watt goes out and complains, it gives huge credibility Deshaun's actually a pretty quiet guy.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt's not. So these are very giving guys, and they've both in the last month said, this is not good enough. It's
very damning.
Everybody's pro player. Everybody's pro J.J. Watt. I'm pro J.J. Watt, and I've been critical of J.J. Watt.
But because also neither one of them are drama guys, to your point. Like, J.J. Watt's a little more vocal than Deshaun, I would say. But to your point, like, they're never complaining. There's never any, like, unnecessary drama.
I am making one prediction this offseason. J.J. Watt to the Packers. I still contend it's exactly what they need. He played at Wisconsin, go to a winning culture.
I think it's a great fit. I don't think that J.J. Watt or Deshaun Watson are going to be on the team.
I think you're right. I think today you're right. And by the way, they'll miss Deshaun more than J.J. Watt. They will.
You're never going to get value for Deshaun Watson.
But you couldn't get.
I don't know how Nick put it together. You couldn't get 8 first-round picks and to be valuable enough for Deshaun Watson.
But you could get Zach Wilson, and if he's as good as they say, it's something. That's the closest thing to value is drafting a quarterback who ends up being really special. I don't know if he's not Deshaun special, but if he's good.
Close enough, but I mean, I just don't see how this could ever be salvaged. It's so bad.
It is bad. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.